On the dais tonight, we were supposed to have the Honorable Sam Nunn, but due to other commitments, he couldn't show. But I'd like to read a mailgram here that he sent to Ludlow. He said, "Dear Ludlow, I really hate to miss your roast August 19th, first, because it was for the benefit of such a good cause, the Georgia Association of the Mentally Retarded, and second, because I can't think of anyone I would enjoy roasting more. Unfortunately, I'll be out of the country that day and miss all the fun. Being the subject of the roast means you have finally arrived. You've been here, man. I suppose, of course, senators don't know everything. I suppose, of course, everybody always knew you had a great future in radio from that date when you were a senior in high school and made your great discovery that you could play AM radio in the afternoon. You come a long way since then, proving that Abraham Lincoln was wrong when he said you can't fool all the people all of the time. I just hope all of this success and attention hasn't changed you from a simple country boy, but I understand you pulled into a 7-Eleven the other day and ordering a Perrier Slurpee. Best of luck with the fundraising. Regards, Sam Nunn." I think that's real great. Now we're going to cut this short, and I want to turn this over to Reverend Williams, Reverend Jose Williams, my master of ceremonies for the evening.
Oh Lord, dark me, go me, she for Sarah. Dilo Belaba. Yeah, that's good. Good evening. Y'all say good evening. That's good to me. Good evening. My friends, I'm so thankful to be here this afternoon. I really am. My staff members, I told them all the week, we going up on the Buford Highway in Ludlow. All my staff members was cheerful. But I told them we were going on the Buford Highway. And after I was going to be with staff with Ludlow, the afternoon I got there, the staff was just crowded everything in. Everybody around. I said, okay, let's go. They went outside. As we going on the Buford Highway, we were let go. All of them ran off and left me. Yeah, when I ain't about to go to the Buford Highway, all the white folk were living on it. No Mike Tyson was there. To be honest with you, I said, we're going to the Buford Highway and meet with the white people. All of us with me, and Mike Tyson will hold up with you. I'll go to the Buford Highway and I'll meet with the white folks on Buford Highway. You all know Mike Tyson, the boxer? Yeah. I said, okay, Mike, let's go. He said, where you going? I said, meet with Ludlow Porch. Damn, but Mike can run off and leave me. So I was almost left by myself. My friends, I want to say this to you, and I drove up this afternoon with my beautiful wife. Stand up on here. Look at, she's so ashamed. Stand up. No, she's a member of the Georgia House of Representatives. I'm a member of the state legislature. I try to tell that girl how to get votes. She still know how to get votes. But as we're going up, and I want to tell you something. I want to be very sincere right here. I am not poor. As Reverend Light said, and this is true, I work with the poor. But I did not have a good mentality, but I got a lot of appreciation personally I met And one of the persons I met, that I really vowed to, is Ludlow Porch. I want you to give him a hand. Now, Ludlow was all upset this afternoon. His wife said, I met his poor little wife outside. And she all said, Ludlow worried about you getting here on time. I said, why is Ludlow worried about me getting here on time? Hell, but I'm driving Ludlow because I get here on time with me driving. Ludlow ain't supposed to be worried because I'm late with me driving. He's lucky that I get here late. That little old big red-faced car, this side. Oh, and I was trying to get on, because I was late. Big old red-faced car said, Jose, where you getting here? Where you going? Let me see your driving license. I told my wife, you got to know he's stupid if you think I got a damn driving license. He ran in my car and said, let me see your license. So I said, where you say you're going? I said, I'm going to the Ludlow Porch show. I jumped back and said, you going to the Ludlow Porch show? I said, yes, I'm going. He said, Jose William going to the Ludlow Porch show? I said, yes, sir. He reached in his trunk of his car and got a half a pint of Scotch whiskey. Drink it, boy, and drive over. So we are here tonight on that Ludlow Porch show. I want to thank Ludlow, a man that ingratiated himself to the point and that does not have to, and there's so many of us, not blacks but whites. Once they reach that status, they forget from whence they've come. Once they reach that status, they just move out. But Ludlow is a guy, and they never did do that. The first thing I didn't like about Ludlow, you heard about being big and dumb? I didn't hate him, because he lost a lot of weight. I said, this so big and dumb guy. And I met Ludlow, and he was big and smart. That's a word to me, but not only cat was big and smart, he was white and fair. So Ludlow was white and fair. So it's been a great shading experience for me to meet Ludlow Porch. If most of us Americans would follow his casper, the poverty we know, the despair and hopeless we know would not exist. And America would become America. And God knows I am happy to be among you this afternoon, honoring. Well, the first thing I say, I told my wife, what you baby going this weekend? And I said, we're going to honor Ludlow Porch. And I said, Ludlow Porch is a great American. At first I reminded my wife, we're going to honor Ludlow Porch, a great white American on this country. And I told my wife, I said, really, the red folks own the country, the white folks didn't own it, but the red folks and the first folks. I said, going to honor Ludlow Porch, a great explorer. A great explorer. And this is true. Ludlow, if we all was like Ludlow, America would become what Martin Luther King Jr. talked about, the American dream. If we all was like Ludlow, America would become. And I want to decide, if I follow Ludlow, I want y'all to do a little more for me you did for Ludlow. I want everybody to give Ludlow a hand for being an American, a true American boy. Give Ludlow a hand. this is, because I tell you all, I'm finished now. I won't say nothing that's introduced my guest speaker. I spoke in Red China. My wife was with me in 1971. I told the Red Chinese, I love America because America is my home. That's why I love America. I love America because America is a country you can protest against what you don't like today, and you don't disappear tomorrow. And it's true. With all, let me tell y'all something. Y'all listen to this from Jose Williams. With all of America's deviation, with all of America's problems, this is the greatest country God put on the face of the earth. We will introduce you, Brother Guy Davis. Mr. Davis was in a prominent line of attorney and former Republican candidate for governor. Ludlow voted for him. I voted for him too, because I'm tired of them Democrats shucking and jiving. Brother Guy Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, you look here. Who's driving home, I say? Well, I thought Mark's going to drive me home. Sitting up here waiting. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you some ridiculous place. I'll tell you something about those last week. I hadn't forgotten when he endorsed President Ronald Reagan for president. And I'd say that was a good move and a good move for this country. Of course, I don't know who that Sam Nunn was this car. I knew I was in trouble when that message was read. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, last year I learned something that has stayed with me. Actually, at least two things I learned. First of all, you don't pick a fight with people. Lee Walden, this gentleman here, Louis Broussard, to work for people that buy paper and ink by the ton. Picking the fights with them. I'm a little nervous about picking one with a fellow who has a radio station that reaches to the shores of the Michigan Lake. I heard somebody call from Lake Michigan this morning on the radio show. That's not the only call. About 5 o'clock this morning, I got a call. Ludlow Porch's lawyer. Now, I got a short course in what makes defamation of character stick in court. I got a little nervous about that because what little I've got, I would like to hang on to. But you know something, ladies and gentlemen, that the people that now represent Ludlow, it's a new law firm that just got organized in the city of Atlanta. I didn't know they were together. The members of that law firm, they called me Richard Nixon, George Busby, Edward Kennedy, and Julian Bond. And they call the firm Trick 'em, Stick 'em, Dunk 'em, and Snort. I put one with couple. We didn't come here tonight to praise Ludlow Porch. We came to burn it. And they finally hear some truth about it. The myths surrounding this man are part of Atlanta's folklore, most of which isn't true. Let's start at the beginning. Ludlow Porch was not born in a log cabin in Eastport, Georgia. We know for a fact he was born in a poker room behind the Firestone dealership on Ware Avenue in East Point. Nothing else is known about him, certainly during his formative years, except what's carried in police arrest reports. At age 18, Ludlow joined the United States Marine Corps. We think it was part of a plea bargain.
We don't know who the young lady was involved, but when he entered the Marine Corps, he weighed 135 pounds. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, look at him now. After all those mater sandwiches he's been eating, he's got suits that weigh 135 pounds. After his discharge, under harmful conditions, I understand, he wandered about searching for truth, happiness, and the best barbecue joint in the state of Georgia. He found happiness and truth as an insurance adjuster. You all had experiences with insurance adjusters. He explained to widows and orphans why Daddy's insurance policy didn't necessarily mean they'd get any money. That's right. He's still looking for a good barbecue joint. Rumors that Ludlow was held in high esteem by his fellow adjusters were greatly exaggerated. I hate, Ronald Reagan has to say, speak no ill of a fellow Republican. We all remember that. But it's true that in 1962, Ludlow Porch was elected president of the Republican Insurance Adjusters of Georgia. He got all 3 votes. After a mediocre career in insurance, he started a mediocre career in radio. In Ludlow's many years of radio, oh, he's going to get me. Ludlow's many years in radio, he worked for only 2 radio stations, 17 times and under 43 managers. Lately, he's taken to writing books, some of which have sold in the dozens. Well, some of them getting autographs here tonight. Now we hear he wants to run for mayor of Crabapple, Georgia. Now, you've all heard Ludlow's radio program, and I'm going to get sued out of this, but there's a club they call the Wacko Club. They call in on that radio station in the morning. Come up right here. Guess who makes up his campaign committee? I'm sure they're here, and if they are, please, would you stand if I mention your name? We'd like to take a look at you and evaluate the chances of the mayor being elected. Now, I got this campaign committee, the names of the people on the committee, by calling WSB Radio this morning. When I called down there, they said, Ludlow who? Finally found somebody that knew him and gave me the list. The campaign manager is Sparky the sex symbol from Henry County, Georgia. Is she here? You please stand, Sparky. It seems that Kitty Litter will be responsible for spreading around his campaign material. And a gentleman by the name of A.V. Ator, is he here? Where is A.V. Ator? We'll transport all the campaign, taking all the campaign stock. Radiator and Edner, are they here? Where are they? Radiator, that's Edner, and that's Radiator. They're going to clear the path when Ludlow comes through. A young lady by the name of July Fly will write all of his speeches. Where is she? Is she here? Disappointed. I'd like to have met her. A Sweet Hazel is going to handle all the public relations. The Sweet Hazel by chance president. Now we know who the no-shows were. could get this fellow's name right. Who was the fellow on the motorcycle? I'm talking about the one, you know, with the greasy yellow hair and the bandana, and he got the chains hanging off the back of the motorcycle pulling tin cans. Who was that? I don't know who he is either, but I understand that he was going to be his advanced man to turn out the crowd. It's one of those guys you see on some of these television shows that have that great ape on there with the guys running behind them on motorcycles. And none of those campaign attire will be provided free of charge by Bodies by Zero. I understand it's a drive-in funeral home. Well, they here. Who wants from a funeral home here? Is Zero here? Where is it? I'd like to take a look at the drive-in funeral home. My goodness. You all make a striking picture. On a serious note, ladies and gentlemen, these days of shock radio, we're fortunate indeed to have the privilege of hearing and knowing a man who conducts himself as a true gentleman on and off the air. He finds no need to resort to profanity in order to express himself, and who never belittles or embarrasses anyone who calls his program. You can't say that for some of the other stations in this town, and some of the people who delight in embarrassing people, putting them down. Ludlow gives it back when it's given, but he's always done it in the proper manner. And I think that's very good. Now, I thought about Ludlow a good bit this afternoon. I haven't forgotten that radio station reaches to Lake Michigan. So I decided to resort to a little bribery, frankly. I've been hearing about those Mater sandwiches for so long. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I enjoy my little garden. I've got a half acre, a Ford 1000 tractor, and all the attachments. So I stopped off in the garden before I came up here. I'm going to keep them in tomato sandwiches about 2 days. Thank you very much, Daniel.
And at this time, we will hear from our good friend Larry Lowenstein. Lowenstein is the Public Relations Information Officer from the Atlanta Public School System. And Larry worked very close, even being the Public Relations Officer for the Atlanta Public School System. He has been very close to Ludlow Porch. So let's give Larry a hand. Come on, Larry.
Thank you, Jose. Now, I have known Ludlow, I think, for about 12 or 13 years, and I still don't like him. Well, let me explain it. Last week, when Luddy gave me a list of subjects that I could not talk about, I had nothing to say. Well, for example, on the top of the list was no fat jokes and no ethnic jokes. So, I'll get you. So what can a nice Jewish boy from the South Bronx say at the night of Columbus with the MC, the Zimbabwe Prince? And as for you, Jose, I've known you a long time, and I want you to remember something that I saw on a bumper sticker, and it fits you beautifully. And that's old age and treachery will always overcome youth and skill. out there know what I'm talking about. As is pointed out, I do work for the Atlanta school system. And there's a story going around now about this mother who woke her son one morning and said, time to get up and go to school. And the son said, I am not going. I have two reasons why I am not going. The first reason is the kids don't like me. And the second reason is the teachers don't like me. The mother said, you are going to school for two reasons. One, you're 39 years old, and two, you're the principal. Now, you heard that Luddy comes from East Point. When I first came to Atlanta about 14 years ago, I went to work in College Park. I found out what East Point was. At that time, it was such a small town that the local utility was the Sears Die Hard battery. But things have improved, I understand. I'm not going to reveal any personal things about Luddy, such as his real age, but if he was a dog, he'd be 420. I see Mike Faraday out there, Luddy's boss, the general manager of WSB Radio, and I found out the real truth of how Luddy really got the job. It was by phone. He was the seventh caller. You know, now that he's a restaurateur, and he goes up to the Blue Ribbon Grill, he always asks the waiter for their best cheap wine. Then he looks at the label and asks, was Thursday a good year? You know, Luddy, your doctor told me that you've got to give up those intimate dinners for two, unless you have someone with you. Now, he's really not big. He only weighs a little, and that's been his dilemma. His body, it retains water. And you can say that the same thing about Hoover Dam. Now, Luddy, if you're overweight, you may have a medical problem. Your body could be retaining ice cream. You know, one of the reasons that Mike hired Ludlow to be on the air is because he's a great salesman. And he says when he's selling advertising for his WSB radio show, he always says that doing business without advertising is like winking at a girl in the dark. You know what you're doing, but nobody else does. Now, let me close with a little advice that I got off the lid of a mayonnaise jar. It said, keep cool, but don't freeze. Thanks, and good night.
So, give it up a hand, my friend. And this time, Dr. Earl Sam. Dr. Sam is a medical doctor in Fayetteville, Georgia.
I'm a handicap in that I never listened to a radio, and I've never heard Ludlow. My chief exposure to Ludlow has been as an author, and I feel that it's time for a little denouement. Ludlow, as an author, is a fraud. I hold up to you nothing except the titles of his books. We'll only go into a couple of them. But there's nothing neat about seeing your feet. How many of you people here tonight think that Ludlow was really worried about his feet? You can always get your feet up and stick them out where you can see them. Ludlow wasn't worried about his feet. I just do it until I need glasses. Really. It's the epitome of depravity. Those glasses are front. He came here tonight with a seeing eye dog. As any of the ladies who have had anything to do with him lately will tell you he's a master at braille. I talked to one lady about Ludlow who had known him earlier, and she said that she had had a date with him once, and it reminded her of a story she heard about the little Benny hen. We went out into the barnyard with romance on our mind, looking at the little Benny rooster, who was busy chasing grasshoppers and had his mind on his stomach. She was so intent on romance that she failed to look over her shoulder, and she got run over by a cow moor, which turned around and round and stood out beside she with not a feather on her. She staggered to her feet and said, "That was a real booger, but he didn't get any." I give you applause. But then on the other hand, it's well known among his friends that Ludlow has a heart as big as his behind and as soft as summer butter. What a heart, what a heart.
This time I'm going to bring you to Lee Ward. Junior, let's start him with Junior Levy. Junior Levy, you in.
Thank you, Jose. Love and no-shows, Rankin Smith moved a franchise over that and that. Listening to all this tonight brings up one of those cosmic questions that you're prone to ask yourself sometime. If I had my life to live over, would I have come here tonight? I really don't like Rose. I hate Dean Martin forever for getting these things started. But I really feel uncomfortable speaking ill of any man. Just remember this. You asked me, Opal. I didn't want to talk about this, Ludlow. But remember the time that I caught you walking down Mother's Lane holding your own hand? Ludlow, you remember the time we were out on the beach and that group from Greenpeace rushed up and slapped the state of the world, bumper sticker on your bed and tried to shove you back over? You remember that? I didn't want to talk about this, but you remember the time we were on safari and we were so far back in the outback that they asked us to remove our clothing so that the local people wouldn't feel uncomfortable? One of the guys there, one of the local people who claimed he could talk to animals, swore that he heard two elephants talking and giggling and pointing at you and saying, "How in the world you figured he ever gets a drink of water?" That's not really true. In fact, the opposite is true. Let me tell you just very briefly how Ludlow's restaurant got its name. Back when Ludlow first married Diane, he came to her with some bad habits. And among these bad habits is he was real bad to lay out drinking beer, real big amounts of beer. And he would come home and just fall into bed into a sound sleep. And he would sleep so soundly that when this beer began to work its magic on him, he wouldn't wake up. And this caused Diane quite a few problems, and she decided to speak to Dr. Sams about this and what he could do about it. He said, well, Diane, I think you ought to do this. The next time he comes in this way full of beer and flops down the bed, you get something and tie it around it. And when this can't happen again, he'll get so uncomfortable that he'll wake up and go to the bathroom. So he comes in one night, real beery, and flops on the bed and starts snoring again. So she decides to try it, and the only thing she can find is this bow made out of blue ribbon. So she took this bow and tied it around it. And sure enough, a couple of hours later, the pressure began to build up, and old Ludlow sat up in the middle of the bed. Sure enough, wide awake, he trudged into the bathroom, flipped on the light. He looked down, his eyes got so big, he said, "You devil, I don't remember where we've been, but you obviously won first prize." I want to close by just telling one true story about Ludlow. I love Ludlow's show. I've been on it under various pseudonyms and love him, love his show. And I'm amazed by how quickly he analyzes a problem and provides expert advice. I remember one sweet little woman calling. You know how some of the ladies love him, these sweet little high-voiced women. One of them called in and said, "Ludlow, I have a problem." He said, "What's that, darling?" She said, "Every time I sneeze," and I can only tell you this because it was on the radio. She said, "Every time I sneeze, I have an orgasm. Is there anything I can take for it?" And just as quick as a wink, Ludlow said, "Can you try pepper?"
Oh, here's the microphone. I was tickled nearly about to death when I was asked to come down here and be the token woman. So here I am. At first, I was just really thrilled. I thought, boy, this is really going to be great. We're going down and roast Ludlow. And then I thought, whoa, we can't roast Ludlow. He's a folk hero. And that would be, you right. And that would be kind of like roasting the Easter Bunny or Mother Teresa. But then I thought, oh, what the heck, it's for a good cause, and I'm really going to stick it to it. Stick it to it. Now, Ludlow was raised up to be a nice Southern boy, and that means all of you who were raised up Southern know that you are nice and polite to everybody, and you say yes, ma'am, and yes, sir, and you are thoughtful and kind, and other things. And Ludlow was brought up to appreciate the really simple things in life. In fact, one of his favorites is soap on a road. But, right. Well, I don't know, but women just love to spoil Ludlow. Men like to swap jokes with him, but women really like to spoil him, like baking cookies and writing them poems and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, but really, this all started back in his family when he was brought up. I mean, let's face it, he was spoiled. And he's still spoiled. Diane is carrying on the tradition. Now, well, for instance, I bet you all think that that's a real mustache he's got under his nose, don't you? Right?
Yeah.
No. He told Diane one day, he said, Diane, I think I'm going to raise a mustache. And she said, oh, honey, that's too much trouble. I'll make you one. And she did. And she made it out of things that she found lying around the house, like in the vacuum cleaner bag. And he doesn't ever have to worry about trembling or anything. Diane saved him an awful lot of trouble. Now, as it was mentioned earlier, Ludlow joined the Marine Corps when he was 18. And I'll tell you one thing. He was the only recruit that showed up at Paris Island with custom-made uniforms that his mama made. And not only that, his Aunt May sewed all the name tags and all his underwear and uniforms and everything so they wouldn't get mixed up with the laundry. Now, the only thing that was different about his uniforms, and it was really not that noticeable, was that they couldn't find any buttons, with the Marine emblem, the globe, and all that business on them. And his button said Shazam, but that was the wonderful thing about Ludlow is that he is always willing to lend a helping hand. I mean, he sees a problem and he tries to help out with it. Well, Ludlow discovered the shopping channel the other day. And Ginger wasn't getting any phone calls. And Lord knows that anybody in talk radio can identify with that. So he thought, well, I'm just going to call up and buy something. So he did. He bought a black leather motorcycle belt that was studded with genuine cubic zirconiums and a message that spelled out, "Move over, sucker." And then the next thing he bought was a ceramic candy dish shaped like a possum. And Diane says, "What in the world are you going to do with that stuff?" And he said, "I will find a use for it sooner or later." Well, another person that Ludlow helped was Earl Roberts. He was in town, and he said that he had to raise $4 million for his pierced ear clinic for unwed mothers. And if he didn't get the money, that God was going to call him home. And Ludlow says, Earl, you're not going to raise that kind of money here. He said, but I can help you out. So he took him down to the bus station and bought him a ticket for Tulsa. Now this, I am really going to give you the lowdown on something about Ludlow that I bet not a person in this room knows about. I'm going to tell you about his secret hobby. Ludlow's secret hobby. You'll be interested in this. Ludlow's secret hobby is collecting used chewing gum with historical value. Now, I bet you didn't know that, did you? He has it all, he keeps it, he showed it to me one time, it took all day. He keeps it in this big album and the pages keep sticking together. And I thought I would just give you a couple of items from, for instance, the presidential collection. Now, all of this chewing gum, mind you, has teeth marks in it from the actual person that chewed it. Or most of it does, not all of it. So in the presidential collection, of course, Jimmy Carter's has the most teeth marks. And Ronald Reagan's has hardly any tooth marks at all because he didn't even know he was chewing gum at the time. Now, now, of course, there's some more interesting pieces that don't have any teeth marks at all, like the one from Gabby Hayes. And then he has a piece that was once stepped on by John Wayne's horse. And then there's a really interesting one that was run over by Elvis's motorcycle with Elvis on board. But I think, from my own viewpoint, the most fascinating piece is the one that he picked up in England. he was standing there watching the coach go by with Queen Elizabeth on her way to her coronation, and she threw this out of the coach right in front of Ludlow. So that's, I think, the most interesting piece of used chewing gum that he has. Totally off the subject, and I've noticed this tonight. Did you know that people with spaghetti on their clothes laugh more? I just thought that was an interesting statistic. You know who you are. Now, another nice thing about Ludlow is he is always involved in the international situation, trying to come up with a solution to practically everything. Right now, he is concentrating on the Middle East. And just last week, he sent the Ayatollah Khomeini a care package to prove that Americans are not devils. And you might be interested to know what was in it. First thing that was in it, and this interested me enormously, was a coupon from a real estate company for a free market analysis on his mosque. A tube of S.C. Lauder beard shampoo. He also sent him the ceramic possum and the motorcycle belt and said, "Give others up." But the thing that I really thought was nice was the plaque Ludlow sent the Ayatollah for his desk, and it said, "No matter what else you do today, you find somebody to be nice to." Thank you.
But we don't want to bring tonight Mr. Paul. I think it's Sherry. Sherry. All right, get Paul, Sherry. All right, your man now. Give me the other hand. How long are you tonight? Make the last bell for those who did not make last bell.
Look, guys, understand this. All the professionals have stolen all of my material. Tonight, of course, we're here to get Ludlow Porch. Nice touch, huh? My mama taught me, before you get somebody, you give them something. So we want to give Ludlow his favorite form of wearing apparel, the fat man's friend, the very deadly, Wyatt Barrett shirt! Anybody? Wyatt Barrett in Spanish means cover your belly no matter how big your belly's gonna be. I learned this on a very recent trip to Mexico when I tried to buy my good friend Ludlow a couple of these shirts because he wears them all the time.
Yeah.
And thank you. And found out, this is going to be a good class here. And found out, when I did church, and found out that the entire consignment of these shirts made in Mexico is earmarked for 3 people in the United States. William Conrad, who played Ken, Raymond Burr, and Ludlow Porch. This is the same style shirt that Ludlow wore when he was in Russia, and you know what happened there. They couldn't tell if he was a big-time Latin American dictator or a small Latin American country. Didn't know. But we know that Ludlow is nothing Latin American about the boy. He's a great American. He's also a great Republican. We're all proud of that. Thanks to Ronnie Reagan, for the first time in Ludlow's career, his capital gains may exceed his weight gains. We don't know. We're going to check on that. The Democrats here in Georgia Coast also want a piece of Ludlow Porch. He is their perfect candidate, the perfect poster child for inflation. There you go. Ludlow, of course, is also, besides being a great Republican, is a great American, a former fireman, an insurance adjuster, and a former Marine. Although his drill instructor was in early this evening and left and said, a one-man platoon I can't handle this time around. A lot of you folks didn't know that our good friend Ludlow has been a candidate for several prestigious awards that he did not win. Very sad, but true. The University of Georgia was to offer Ludlow a chair for literature, but realized it would have to be a sofa. Ludlow was in the running for a Peabody Award, promoting human relations through broadcast journalism, until Ed Till beat him out at the very last minute. Our good friend Ludlow was also nominated for the prestigious Television Emmy, until someone saw the pilot. I couldn't pass that up, buddy. I'm sorry. Ludlow also was offered the Pulitzer Prize for whatever that Pulitzer Prize is for. All you other guys know, and I don't. However, the manuscript of what it was received was written in crayon and covered with gravy stains. The real reason I love the man, though, is the restaurant business. Ludlow, of course, is a natural. I've seen him eat. You might have seen him at the same time. When I first got tied up with Ludlow, we opened the Blue Ribbon Grill. The night of our grand opening. Located at 4006 Resista Road, serving lunch and dinner Monday through Saturday, 11:30 till. Didn't pass that up either, I'm sorry. I got a frantic phone call. We were worried about where Ludlow might be because we had a bunch of people standing by to come see him his first night there. And I got a frantic phone call from the manager of the A&P. It seemed that Ludlow had taken a left turn and was eating his way halfway through the produce section, taking it to the salad bar before we got the place open. About half an hour after that, the fire marshal came in and said, like they always do, you've seen them in all those restaurants, seating capacity 150. And then Ludlow walked in, he said, him plus 100, no problem. The most embarrassing moment, though, I think, was just at Christmas time when we were approached by the Feed the Hungry group, which Jose, of course, is associated with. The Feed the Hungry group came in and said, there's very little you can do for us, but you could just give us your leftovers. And it was my sad duty to explain to them, with Ludlow in the business, there were no leftovers. Probably, however, the most memorable occasion we had at the Blue Ribbon Grill was when Ludlow and I were in the process of getting the place put together. And we walked in there and we were amidst all the construction and we're stepping over 2x4s, concrete blocks, looking around. The bar will go there, the kitchen will go there, the menu will be like this. And as it would be, nature called. So Ludlow and myself both had to relieve ourselves at the same time. We stepped down the men's room, stepped to the urinal side by side, and Ludlow stood and went, yeah. Ludlow! I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? He said, I'm looking for my penis. Excuse me, Ludlow. Looking for your penis? God, I said, what happens when you and Diane want to have sex? I said, well, normally, it's a lot bigger, and there's two of us looking for it.
Louis Gazette.
I don't know what he's drinking, but everybody in the country knows a bottle of it. We can walk for
racial injustice in this country than has been done in the last 25 years. I don't know much about his outfit either. Either one of two things is happening. Either the black crime in town or somewhere a couple in Zimbabwe have a 1950 DeSoto with seat covers missing. I'll be very honestly, I am shocked beyond belief at some of the language that's been used up here tonight. Some of the things that have been said about my big brother Ludlow. Mother tried to keep the part about being a bed brother quiet for years. And I didn't realize you could come to discuss a man's genitalia. Well, anyway, Ludlow, I heard some people talking about Ludlow never used bad language. Now, this is not actually true. I remember we were twin brothers. We were triplets. When I was dying, I wasn't sure which one. We were walking along with our little brother Joey. You remember him? He passed away because you didn't buy enough damn books. We were walking along one day, little Joey and me and my big brother Ludlow, and we saw a mermaid on the seashore there, and little brother Joey went up and looked her over and he said, "Have you ever been cuddled?" And she said, "No." He cuddled her. "If you like that?" She said, "I like that. Very good." I went up and I said, "Have you ever been kissed?" She said, "No, I've never been kissed." And I kissed her. I said, "How'd you like that?" She said, "I like it." Lola went up to her and said, "Have you ever been screwed?" She said, "No." He said, "Well, you are now, the side's out." I wasn't going to use that for Lolo and I have been friends for a long time, and a lot of people think that, this is Diane's third wife, and this is not true. He's actually been married 5 times, with his 5th wife. I'm only my 3rd. Little shady things about his first wife. She single-handedly introduced venereal disease to 7 of 13 original colonies. Her wife was a bit of a floozy also. She liked to entertain her stuff by dancing nude on tabletops at Shorty's truck stop in Chattanooga, Tennessee. She was a good old girl, I'm telling you what. Jose Lincoln's coming back last night. Lolo was not in the Marine Corps. This is not true. He was actually in the paratroopers. And the thing about him growing up, he was the most pessimistic young man I ever met. Nothing ever was going to work for him. Nothing would ever work out. And it didn't. But he wanted to be a paratrooper. That's all he talked about. He said, "I'll never make it. They'll never take me in the paratroopers." I kept trying to get his spirits up. "They're going to take you, Lolo." "No, they'll never take me as a paratrooper." Sure enough, he finally joined. They did take him. And he's on his first jump. Yeah. He's sitting there in the plane. The sergeant goes up and said, "Now, man, you jump out of the plane, you're 25,000 feet. Once you get away from the propellers, I want you to pull the sash, the ripcord on your left, and the parachute will open and you'll float safe to the ground. If for any reason it doesn't open, don't worry, there's another sash, pull that, and it'll open." Mother said, "Ain't never going to open for me, I know it won't." Sure enough, he jumped out, he pulled, got something like they were talking here. Normally I work alone, Ludlow, but if you want to get out, I'm in so long trip, I got my speech. Anyway, this guy says, "Pull it on your left. If it don't work, no problem. Pull it on your right, you'll flow safe to the ground, and the trucks will be there to pick it back for a minute." Ludlow said, "It'll never work." He jumped out. He pulled the one on his left. Surely it didn't open. He went a little further, he pulled the one on the right. It didn't open either. Last thing anybody heard him say is, "Yeah, I bet them damn trucks will go there to pick us up and kind of here." We know that he puts on the country boy he is. He really is a country boy. Poor uneducated country boy as well. He walked in a place recently and said, "Excuse me, I have an RC and a $1,000,000." The guy said, you must be the famous Ludlow Porch you talk about in the radio show and everything. He said, you know, it really offends me. Just because I came in to order RC and a mean pie, you think I was Ludlow Porch. He said, what if a man walked in and ordered sausage? You think it's necessarily posed? The guy said, well, you know, this never happened. Man working 15 years. He said, what if a man walked in and ordered linguine? You think he's Italian? So that's never happened either. Or a man walking in and ordered vodka. You think he's Russian? He said, no, that's never happened to me either. So why then, just because I came in and ordered RC and a moon pie, you think I'm Ludlow Porch? The guy said, because this is a hardware store. At any rate, I think my mother summed it all up about the way I feel about Ludlow when she left home, and she said, good, you've been a terrible disappointment to me, son. But frankly, I'm tired of him using me and on my coattails all these years that I've brought him up and the whole thing and try to have the right material for him. And well, I just finally came to decision this afternoon. I like to eat with this Ludlow, a little something for you to think about tonight and go back home. I have written you out of inheritance. Forget it, no more money. He's a great guy and a great brother. And we must also remember the highlights of his high school career was when he was arrested for mooning and later dismissed on the charges when they found his head looking out the window.
You know, Ludlow, I really become somewhat upset with God, with Ludlow. Because Ludlow had received more than his rightful share of the blessing. And I think of how hard I tried to write, how hard I tried to become an entertainer. And Ludlow received so many of the blessings of instruction, strive for. Ludlow not receive those blessings alone. He had help. I think the last question would admit to you that I've not been all alone would be Ludlow. So I'm going to present to you this time all those books that Ludlow wrote. Now Ludlow wrote the books, tell you the truth. But Ludlow had to have some help getting them books out, getting them books published, getting those books in the hand of readers in this country. But after Ludlow read those books, the person who helped him to publish those books was a man by the name of Chuck Perry. Chuck, I want you to come up here and talk to Ludlow. God knows
it's really a lot of fun following this kind of talent, being last on the show. I'm real excited about the lineup here. Reminds me of this being second rate or bottom of the barrel, whichever. There was a church outside a sign. I mean, a sign outside a church that said, tired of sin, come on in. And then underneath it, somebody had written, if not, call Shirley, 355. I'm the if not. I know Ludlow, of course, best through his books. Peachtree has published 4 of them. I've been editor of those. A View from the Porch, Cornbread Chronicles. I'm sorry, 5. Excuse me, 5. I forgot one. The last one, of course, was somebody mentioned earlier, can I just do it till I need glasses? We got an order last week from somebody who called and ordered a copy. Can I just do it till my eyes fall out? A friend of ours in the book business marvels at Ludlow's sales record. She wonders who's buying all those books. She says that if the fans who buy his books never learn to read, we're in big trouble. Well, we're going to test that this fall. We're scheduled to publish a book in October, and I don't have one damn word. We're going to see if y'all notice blank pages this year. But Ludlow has really been struggling a little this fall with this book. He was complaining to everybody who'd listened to him about how difficult it is to write this year. Just moaning and moaning and moaning. And finally somebody said, I don't feel any sympathy for you. I don't know why in the world you'd spend a whole year writing a book when you can buy one for $10. Lud is a real man of the world. I heard him telling somebody recently he was going to sunbathe on the Riviera. And somebody said, "Oh my God, you going to France?" And he said, "No, that Buick down the backyard." You're right on top of it. And, but being such a man of the world, after living in Roswell and southern Chattanooga for years, Ludlow was thinking about moving into the city. Lisa recently saw a house he liked in the neighborhood he liked, and he was telling me what he really just thought was so neat was everything was in walking distance. He was in walking distance to the grocery store, and the theater, and the museum, and when he really got there, he said, the greatest thing of all, they built a new car wash right down the street, I can walk to it. Walking distance across the street. Within the last year or so, though, Lud has become a restaurateur. He's obviously well suited for the job. When he first got into that line of work, he was really complaining. He said, God, we ain't making a dime. We're selling meatloaf for $4.95. It costs us $5.30 to make it. We're selling peach cobbler for $2.50, and we got $3 just in the materials and the labor. I don't know how we're going to make it. And his friend said, wait a minute. If everything you're selling is costing you more to make it than you're selling it for, how are you ever going to make a profit? Lud thought about it and said, hell, I don't know. Volume, I guess. Now the business is really picked up. He was just telling me last week things are going great. And Paul takes credit for that too. And they said that on average night they got 75% of all the seats in their field, and sometimes just as much as a 30-minute wait just to get a table. Ludlow said, if the crowd holds that good, we may even start charging. They had good crowds there. Lud, of course, is experienced as a lawyer, an insurance adjuster, and station manager, and had equipped him to handle all sorts of personnel problems. Just last week, one of the employees came up and said, Lud, there's a case of syphilis in the kitchen. Lud said, have them bring him out. We're about to chef Lee. For relaxation from this hectic life he's got, Lud and Diane enjoy getting away from the mountains. They have a little place in the mountains within spitting distance of Dr. Sam's and me and my wife, and they really spend a lot of time up there, which surprises me because Diane, I don't know if any of you know this, Diane is just horrified of all sorts of bugs. She gets hysterical when Ludlow refers to as zippers as fly. She won't let ants come to visit them as cabin. I mean, she's really nuts about this. They've got those bug zappers all over the top of the mountain. At night, the whole sky lights up in this eerie sort of pollute. And it's really nice to eat with them too. When you're there trying to eat a meal, and you go like, everywhere. They're killing bugs right and left. Lud also bought they bought a four-wheel drive Jeep to have some fun up there. And of course, he immediately took it back in the woods off road and got it stuck up to the windows. He's the only man in the mountains. The guy who runs the record service, Ludlow's training two of his kids as dependents. He's been pulled out of so many holes, they're calling him see out. That means for coitus interruptus. That's what it's called. Lud suggested put the winch on the front. Diane said, if any woman riding over the front of that Jeep, it's me. I just noticed Ludlow's been all night. Ludlow's been drinking water all night long. Whatever that is, it's something watered down. Every time I turn around, he's taking another drink. I think we may have a scientific first here. It's the first time I've ever seen a wind machine driven by water. Thank you.
Before we bring on our guest tonight, and this is a great night. You know what? My family, I want to bring my family here tonight. My wife, she always hides from me. But you know, a week ago, this place was sold out. This place was sold out a week ago. I always bring my family and myself. But I always listen to Ludlow. I get going up on the telephone. I want to direct the television station. There's one who is struck by Ludlow. Ludlow is like conscious. He's like a leader into the future for our people. There's one I always heard from Ludlow, and sometimes I want to choke him. There are times I want to hug him. And I want to be, where's Bozo Rock? Bozo here? Bozo, stand up, Bozo. Stand up here. Where's Bozo? Give him a man. I ain't gonna hug him. After me. I know you. I will hug you too, but you're supposed to go give those hands. No.
Told me to dress. At least I'm ready to decide to get married again tonight. Ludlow and Elvis have a lot in common. They were both born in the Deep South in the 1930s. Their parents were both married at the time of their birth. To each other. Elvis, later in his career, began to put on weight. Ludlow started early. Ludlow's hair is thinning out. Elvis, Ludlow's hair is thinning out. Those of you who do not know, Ludlow is my grandfather. And I've just come here tonight to try my best to embarrass him. I probably know him more than anybody else here, and that's the one thing that I regret. We tried to have a special guest here tonight, the one person that Ludlow looks up to more than anyone else in the radio business. And I didn't see him come in. Is Ed Till here? Sorry, couldn't make it. It all started when I was 3 years old. I knew there was going to be a problem. Went to daycare camp. I came back and they had moved. It took 3 weeks to find the house. But we found it. Biggest shock came when I was 7 years old and I found out that he was cheating on me. Happened quite by accident. I came home from school one day and found him in the backyard playing ball with another little child. Just about killed me. Looked at me so nonchalantly and said, "Hey, join us." What nerve. Like I didn't know. I knew something was going on. I saw the popsicle sticks and the baseball cards laying around. I knew it hadn't happened. Always wondered in the back of my mind when he said he was going out for a paper, was he really going by to pick up another little boy to take him to the movies or take him to the zoo? I never knew. He found out later on that I was paying those children to play with him. And you owe me $840. I don't have much else to say. I just want to let everybody know that Ludlow is my daddy and I love him.
My friends, I used to be questioned by the Ring radio station. And I left Ring and I was questioned by WSAB. Left then they questioned me over in WCNN. There's a person that respected me, and I respected him. We didn't always agree. There were many times, in fact, I'm going to be honest with you, most times we disagreed, but we respected one another. And we called up and we talked to one another. But one of the true great Americans that paid his dues, one of the true great Americans that laid his life out on the line to make the American dream come true. One of those that I respected, like I respected Martin Luther King Jr., was an old fat dude. And I'm being honest with you, fat and dumb. And after I learned this guy, not only is he fat acting smart, I'm really surprised. The dude is white and right. I want to present to you true great American, Ludlow Porch. Here we go.
Thank you, Hosea. Well, he's something, man. I think probably the reason Hosea and I have so much in common is that we were both raised by a little old black lady. And where else in America can a white man and a black man be that close and agree and disagree? I'm always careful about how much I disagree because even in America, I know deep down in my heart that Hosea will cut me. I'm gonna tell you something nice that Hosea doesn't even know. Absolutely the truth. What the hell is that? I lived for a while in Forsyth County. You didn't know that, did you, Hosea? As a matter of fact, I was living there just before Hosea's now famous march. I was in the Rotary Club up there. I was on the tree stand committee. There are some folks here I'd like to recognize tonight before I get on with it. Number one, I hope everybody realizes that we are here for a good cause. All this money is going to a fine cause. And I hope you also realize that it takes a lot of work to put something like this on. I did most of the work here tonight. I was here at 4:30 this morning cooking that spaghetti. Big Al was supposed to cook the spaghetti. I came in Monday and found him in there opening cans of Franco American. A lot of my colleagues are here from WSB. Larry Lowenstein introduced Mike Faraday, our Vice President and General Manager. I've never met Mr. Faraday. But I would like for my colleagues, sure enough, from WSB, they're here from AM and FM, to please stand up so you can see the folks that make it a fun place to work. Would you stand up here today? We got I know you're wondering where all the FM announcers are. Actually, there's only one FM announcer at WSB. We have interchangeable mustaches that he could also have the former Georgia boxing commissioner here, Lanny Franklin. Lanny, would you stand up? Joe Frank Harris, hi, Lanny. And I I don't want to say any more about that. That's too small animals, and I don't want to get into it. Now, to my roasters, Guy Davis. You can say what you want to about Guy Davis, and I probably will. But from the very first time I met him, one thing about this man was instantly apparent. This man's a loser. Did you see the election return? I mean, a man with no more pressure you got ought to be allowed to carry guns. You know, they say in the 80s that elections are won or lost on personality. Joe Frank Harris beat this man. Republican or not, Guy has the personality of a day-old cantaloupe run. Paul Sacchetti, the foul-mouthed member of the day. Paul was in the Marine Corps. He was a member of the famous Fighting Dwarfs Battalion. Paul so short, he's the only guy I know that can sit on the ground and dangle his feet. I want you to look at that face with the hair and the beard. Looks a little bit like a possum looking out of a bush. No. The hair could raise hair commercially. Only guy I know blow dries his back. The bathing suit was like a short, ugly fool of bath mat. Chuck Berry with Peachtree Publishers. I refer to Chuck as my bookmaker. And I worked long and hard to find some remarks about Chuck, but what do you say about a man who has lived his entire life as an absolute zero? I guess his claim to fame was he was with the Atlanta Journal for many years, had over 300 papers on his route. Another personality to give Chuck Berry. It's a personality with empty buttermilk glass. And according to this person's physician, Dr. Sands, he is not anatomically correct. Kitty Litter, our Ladies' Day member. Kitty is a very special person, but I gotta tell you, Kitty is the tackiest human being. She thinks a formal dinner is where you put beanie weenies on the paper plate. She is the founder of the annual Tucker Flip-Flop Parade. To a formal affair, she wears white flip-flops. Funny true story. Kitty went out and bought a green double wide because it matched her lawn. And Larry Lowenstein, I've known Larry for many years. I was really hoping Larry would take the high ground here tonight because I put him a little note on his invitation and I said, "Dear Larry, if you don't do any fat jokes, I won't do any Jew jokes." Need to be nice to Larry, very old person. You know, he roomed with Roosevelt. Not frightening kid, yeah. Man so old you probably about a six-pack. for the Atlanta school system. And that's a little like having Helen Keller as a driving instructor. He was actually, serious, true story, and you'll remember this, he was actually the program director at Old Ring Radio. True story, so help me, my hand on the Bible. Larry came to me one day and said, I got a great idea for a show. And I said, what is it? He said, you know the lady on Channel 2 early in the morning who signs for the deaf so the deaf people can enjoy the television, the news. And I said, yeah. He said, we'll have her on as a guest. It's a true story, Larry. True story. True story. And I sat there a minute, and I let it sink in, and I said, you know, I realized that she can speak. You know, what form does an interview take? What do I ask her? And Larry said, the obvious thing. He said, we'll find out what radio means to the deaf. I said, Larry, I'll tell you what radio means to deaf. Nothing. Some kind of program director, as you can imagine, as useless as Ed Till on a waiting book. No, listen, I don't want you to make fun of Ed Till. No. One of the sad things in the world is when a young man chooses the wrong career. So you be nice. I'd like to say a few words about Dr. Farrell Sands. I'd like to, but I don't know who the hell he is. I never laid eyes on the man until tonight. What I think we have here is a disbarred wino chiropractor from Fayetteville who showed up with some free spaghetti. Tonight's the first time he's been to the bathroom inside since he got out of the army. Lee Walbert, known Lee for many years. Lee is the head man of Atlanta Magazine. And I think I can safely say that he can do as much for Atlanta Magazine as Jack the Ripper did the door-to-door sales. Lee has been a PR man for a number of years, had his own PR firm here, Walbert & Associates. He did the PR work for the Atlanta Chiefs. Represented Jimmy's Ribs for a while. As well as the Atlanta Times. I'm convinced that if Lee Walton had been doing the PR for the Last Supper, then it had been an Ollie's trolley. Before I respond to my little brother Lewis's remarks, I do want to get serious 1 minute if I may. I have a very happy announcement to make. Lewis just got back from Scotland. And are you ready for this? While he was in Scotland, Lewis got married again. How about a nice And I'm particularly pleased about this because I introduced the new bride to Lewis. He married an old and dear friend of mine, Elvin Kilgore. Pretty much of a slut. She's a good old girl. She worked for the Atlanta Falcons for a number of years. She unfortunately had to quit. They found out that she had had an affair with the Los Angeles Rams. football player, Hall of Fame. I dated her a few times. I don't want you to be mad about that, Lewis. After all, I'm the one that asked her dad she put in the paper. Incidentally, Lewis, you're out of scotch. The Knights have asked me also to announce before we adjourn tonight that they'd like the women and children to stay in the building until Jose has cleared the parking lot. Seriously, how about a nice hand for Jose? If I had one credo in life, it's that the only thing you ever accumulate that has any value whatsoever are the folks around you that love you and that you love them. If that is true, and I believe it is, tonight, I'm the richest man on the face of God's earth.